I had a leaving date saved in my phone, not a date with someone, a leaving date, the day I would finally walk out of corporate for good. I kept changing it. First it was March, then September, then the following March, and I kept moving it, not because things were getting better, because I was scared. If you're watching this and you've got a date like that in your head, that one day I'll finally do it date, this video is for you. There was one specific moment that finally made the date real. I'll tell you what it was before we're done. Let me take you back. October 2023, 15 years in corporate, senior role. Good salary, the kind of job that looks brilliant from the outside and then hollows you out from the inside. And every Sunday evening, without fail, I'd feel it, that weight, that heaviness, that sense of dread that starts around 4 p.m. and just sits on you. I knew I had to go. I knew it. But here's the thing about knowing something and doing something. They are not the same thing. I told myself I was being responsible, that I needed more savings, that the timing wasn't right, that I needed the next thing lined up first. The truth, I was terrified, not of failing, not really. I was terrified of who I'd be without the job title, without the structure, without the identity I'd built over 15 years in corporate. So I stayed, head down, counting the months, telling myself one more month, just one more month. And every morning I'd walk in and think, what am I doing here? Here's what nobody tells you about staying too long. It costs you not just time, it costs you something much harder to get back. We tell ourselves we're staying because it's practical, sensible, because the timing isn't right. But most of us, if we're being really honest, we're staying because we've built our entire identity around that job. Midlife crisis? No. Midlife identity crisis? Absolutely. And nobody wants to admit that, because admitting it means admitting that the job slowly draining you is also the thing defining you. I spent over 15 years being the go-to person, the one people called when things went wrong. When I imagined leaving, I didn't just imagine leaving the job. I imagined leaving myself, the version of me I knew how to be. That's why I stayed. Not the money, not the practicalities, the fear that without the job, I wouldn't know who I was. And here's the reframe. That fear isn't a reason to stay. That fear is the exact reason you have to go. One question. Simple, powerful, actionable. So what broke the cycle for me? One question. And I want you to actually sit with this, not scroll past it. If nothing changes, where am I in 5 years? Not where do you hope to be? Not where you're planning to be. Where are you if literally nothing changes? Because here's the thing about comfort zones. They're not actually comfortable. They're just familiar. And familiar, and when it's slowly breaking you, is just a slower way to lose. I wrote down the answer, and it scared me more than leaving ever did. That's when I stopped moving the date. If you're in that 18-month gap right now, that space between knowing and doing, I want you to ask yourself that question today, not tomorrow. Today, write the answer down. You don't have to show it to anyone. Just be honest with yourself. That's where life after corporate actually begins. It's not when you hand in your notice, right there, in that moment of honesty. I promised you the moment that made the date real. It was a Thursday morning, a meeting I'd been in 100 times. I looked around the room and thought, none of this matters to me anymore. Not the people, not the project, not the outcome. And for the first time, that thought didn't scare me. That's when I knew. If this landed for you, hit subscribe. See you in the next video.